Hello, hello. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week we explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today we are talking about something really special: how you can be abundant in a world full of scarcity. So, if you've ever felt like there's just not enough time, not enough energy, not enough resources, or maybe you feel like slowing down is risky and resting comes without guilt, you are not alone, because today is for you. And we are talking about this scarcity thing. It is the scarcity talking. Today, we're going to look at how you can recognize scarcity in your life and really start shifting your internal environment to make empowering choices, even when the outside world feels anything but abundant. So, before we get into things, tell me where you're coming in from. And if you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If it is your first time here, type in first time in the chat, because I want to thank you for being here. And I truly do appreciate your presence. Now, I know that some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCook. I am Canada's leading abundance mentor. And we work with professional women that have beautiful lives on the outside, but they're interested in more. They love personal growth and development. They're constantly working on themselves, but they know that they're holding themselves back in some way. So we help them bridge the gap between dreaming and doing so they can have a life and business they actually want and love. Now, when I first started studying with Mr. Bob Proctor, I was led to the work of Wallace D. Wattles. He's the author of Science of Getting Rich. And if you've heard of The Secret, this is the book that inspired Rhonda Byrne to write that. And so in The Science of Getting Rich, it is a book that was written at the turn of the century. He says, abundance is your birthright. And I remember reading that initially and going, oh, that sounds like a cool idea, but this is definitely not something I grew up. My mama did not tell me that growing up. I didn't even really know the word abundance. I could spell it. I heard about it, but it wasn't really present in my life. And I remember thinking that it was an interesting concept, and sure, it had potential, but I immediately doubted that it was for me. I completely dismissed it because it really deep down made me uncomfortable. And I eventually started learning more about the world of abundance and started thinking, well, it's nice for others to live in this la la land, but how could that be mine? My reality does not reflect that. I grew up surrounded by scarcity, but we didn't even know that's what it was. And we lived a privileged life. We always had money, we always had opportunities, so we weren't struggling by any means. However, the scarcity showed up in sneaky ways. Everything had to be purchased on sale, or if we spent money, there was always guilt. There was always like, oh, don't spend too much. There was that little quiver of guilt in the voice. My mother would stress from a time perspective if we were not early, but my stepfather would always be late, trying to rush one or two more things. And there was constant friction regarding time. There was a lot of conflict regarding that. There was never enough energy for things. People were always too tired. And I didn't really think that was scarcity because we didn't use that word. However, there was also this element of things never being good enough. And so scarcity was definitely present. It just wasn't that we couldn't afford basic things. We absolutely could. It was in all these other sneaky ways. And it was a very familiar way to live. It wasn't until I really started doing my own personal growth work and met a lot of different people who truly in their hearts and souls looked at the world in a different way. And again, in the beginning, I would totally doubt it and contradict it because I'm like, great for them, but not for me, until I really started putting myself in that arena. And I realized there's a metaphor where they say, put your own oxygen mask on, right? If the airplane is going down, put your own oxygen mask on. And when you're scarcity driven, you run around putting masks on everyone else and running out of air yourself. And so when it really comes to choosing abundance, this is making sure to fill your own tank first and become better equipped to help others. So you're not helping others out of guilt. You're not helping others out of necessity. it's necessity from here, not from external sources. And so over time, my perspective shifted, but it didn't happen overnight. So let's take a look at what scarcity is. Scarcity mindset is a mindset focused on lack, limitation, and fear. Essentially, it's believing that there is not enough time, money, energy, opportunities, things that lead to overwhelm. There's a lot of anxiety, perfectionism, isolation, and guilt. Not the kind of place you want to hang around. Abundance, on the flip side, is recognizing and embracing the fullness of life, trusting that there's always enough, there's more than enough, including time, money, love, energy, opportunities. Just like Wallace D. Waddell said, abundance is your birthright. This is not something you need to apply for. This is not something that you need to earn. It's available to you. All you have to do is reach out and claim it. Now, scarcity mindset has its roots in survival instinct. Early humans, they needed to conserve their resources in order to survive, right? You don't have enough resources, you don't have enough energy to go hunting, nobody eats. You don't have enough energy to put up shelter, you might freeze to death. And so when it comes to today's day and age, we have thriving lives. We have so many opportunities, and this scarcity mindset is no longer required. But what it does is it creates stress that actually prevents us from thriving fully. So let's take a look. How could scarcity show up in your life? So scarcity might show up as overwhelm, right? It's just too many things on the go. Perfectionism, where you're actually procrastinating because you're trying to get things done so perfectly, or you're just such a perfectionist and nothing is ever good enough. Guilt, big G word, not a positive feeling. Isolation, sometimes let's say things are going wrong. Instead of reaching out to community, you go hide and you hide and you hide because you don't know what to say. You're trying to save face, and so you abandon other people and you stay within. You isolate yourself. Feelings that you're always behind. Your to-do list is never ending, and it's really believing that you must always do more. Constantly be doing more, and you never fully caught up. So does this resonate with you? Can you connect to any of this? Because if so, those are ways that scarcity is actually showing up in your life. Now, there's some challenges that come up. So let's look at this challenge number one, feeling like there's never enough time. Well, if you are constantly behind, start looking at how you start each day. Like, do you have your day started? Is your day planned the night before? Do you have an effective way to kickstart your day to make sure that you have clear priorities that are aligned with your goals, and you are creating through clarity, intentionality, and purpose? It's not necessarily about having enough time. It's about doing the right things with the time you have. That might mean delegating. That might mean taking rests so you can clear your mind, so you can be more effective, really learning how to prioritize tasks. And so it's when it comes to this challenge of feeling like you never have enough time, it's really about being intentional and setting the right priorities with the time that you do have, and letting go of the rest, automating, delegating, outsourcing, and deleting the rest. Another challenge that comes up and is really common is fear of slowing down or resting. Super, super prevalent among high achieving women, because, heaven forbid your husband, your kids, your teammates could do as good of a job as you. The world might just end if it's not you that's steering the wheel and coordinating everything. And if you can't hit the pause button, there's going to be a point where you actually can't keep going anymore. You need to refill the tank. And if you don't refill your tank, God's going to do it for you. And often that shows up in the form of dis-ease, where you will be slowed down on your own. So this fear of slowing down or resting is really prevalent, but you've got to schedule deliberate times for rest and make these a non-negotiable. And it's not like, oh, I'm just going to just take a rest because I deserve it. You legitimately must do this to clean your brain, to clean your body, to allow yourself to refuel. And this is actually more essential for productivity rather than just a luxury. Can be luxurious, but that's not the point. The third big challenge is isolation and feeling unsupported. So often, if something goes wrong in your life, maybe in your work, in your family, in your career, in even in your health, it's you may not know what to say to people, and you may not feel comfortable giving explanations and answers. And so, what do? Someone calls you to go out or invites you for lunch, and you make an excuse that you're just too busy, and you isolate yourself and you find reasons not to connect and not to share. But humans, we are very interconnected, and if you're not consistently getting together with friends, relatives, or some kind of support groups to be vulnerably authentic, not just whine and bitch and complain, but truly authentic and have genuine relationships, ask for help when you need it, but also have this collaborative relationship where you are giving as well to others in a positive and constructive way, then you're going to be isolated. So it's really important that you do connect to others. So avoiding this isolation trap. And it's like your mind is a garden, okay? And scarcity thoughts are the weeds that are choking your plants, but abundant thoughts they nurture and they water and they grow your garden and allow it to flourish beautifully. You've got to pluck the weeds and you've got to nurture the actual thought seeds, the life seeds, the positive and constructive seeds of abundance. And when you start to do that, when you start to really look at what are the weeds, are your weeds feeling like there's never enough time? Is it fear of slowing down or resting? Is it isolation or feeling supported, or another flavor of scarcity? Okay, what are those energies, the thoughts, feelings, and actions that are choking you off? And how can we start navigating around that? So I want to give you some really practical action steps that you can take. And this is by all means not an exhaustive list, but they're really simple things that I want to talk about because they're powerful and they work. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to just do them because Larissa says so, they're probably not going to work for you if you don't actually care. So try one of them, see how it goes. And the thing is, it might work on one day, but it might not work on another day. And so you might want to rotate or mix and match. But I'm going to give you 3 simple things that you can do to move into this place of living in abundance. Because essentially, if you want to live in an abundant way and have an abundant life, regardless of what external circumstances or pressures are being put on you, it's got to start from within. So first, a daily gratitude practice, or even the ability to notice what's right. Sometimes I like assigning this because you may not be able to say, I'm so happy and grateful for all the blessings in my life and everything is so perfect. You may not be able to say that on some days, but what you can do is you can start with identifying what's right, what's good, what is working. Okay, the beautiful thing about gratitude is it focuses on the good. And when you focus on expands, notice the good, you will start attracting more of it. And I've really noticed this when I did a challenge to identify 100 things I was grateful for every single day, 100 a day for a 7-day period right before Thanksgiving. And because I was constantly focused on what is good, what am I actually thankful for, what is working in my life, all of a sudden I started naturally seeing more and more opportunities. So I'm going to say a daily gratitude practice, or a daily what's good, what's right practice, however you need to phrase it. But that is absolutely essential because it's going to take your conscious mind and break the scarcity habit. And it's going to allow your unconscious mind to begin getting programmed or strengthen its programming for identifying and aligning with the good things. And initially, you may need to talk out loud and you may need to talk yourself through it. If you're like, I'm so happy and grateful for my coffee. Yeah, right. Eye roll. It's okay. Don't feel bad. Maybe you can't get there that day because you're thinking about the deal you just lost yesterday, or the opportunity that you wanted to have a chance to present at, but maybe you didn't get it. There might be things that are going wrong in your life and you're more focused on that, but you've got to identify what is actually working. Okay, gratitude and good things will do that. There are always good things, and start with little things if you can't find the big things right off the bat. Mindful moments. Okay, this is about getting in the present, where you literally take a couple minutes, maybe even 30 seconds, to just pause, hit the pause button, and reconnect with yourself and reconnect with the now. That might be by taking deep breaths and just, it might be by breathing and noticing your body. It might just be by noticing, okay, how does my head feel? How does my torso feel? How do my arms feel? Ooh, got a little itch, got a tickle on my back. Let me scratch that. Let me scratch that. How do my legs feel? How does my bottom feel on my seat? How do my feet feel? Just identifying how you feel in the now. Okay, it's another way of really being mindful and present, just paying attention, doing a body scan without judgment, just noticing what is what. Another beautiful way to get into the present is noticing things with your five senses. Think of something that you see that's beautiful. Think of something that you hear that's just a wonderful sound. You might actually hear it, or you might just think about it. I often will, if I want to perk myself up and get in the present moment of like having high energy, I will put on my music and I will just dance around my house. And that music, it gets my body going, but it also just fuels something within, and it allows me to be in a different state in that moment. Something that feels good physically. Maybe it's a lovely fabric, or maybe it's an amazing emotion. What feels good? What do you smell that's brilliant? And what do you taste that's brilliant? So these can be real life in the moment. Maybe you have a cheesecake. We bought a cheesecake last week, and oh my goodness, it was divine. So good. And every little, even putting the fork in, it felt amazing. The cake looked amazing. It felt amazing putting the fork through the cheesecake. It felt amazing taking that bite and just feeling the creamy cheesecake and smelling it. This was like a holistic moment. I was so present with that cheesecake last week. So how can you use your five senses to get more present and tune into all five of them, or even some of them that you might not notice? But do that throughout the day. So that is, it will help shift your energy and get you into the now. And then last but not least, okay, third thing that would be helpful to get you to a state of abundance is ask for support. Okay? Ask for support. When you have a whole bunch of stuff on your list and you don't have time to do it, you don't have the desire to do it, you don't even know where to start, you need to get help. Get people to automate, delegate, outsource, or just delete some of the stuff that you've got on your list. I had a simple thing that I was avoiding. I had a decision I needed to make, and I didn't know what to do. And frankly, I did not want to use the brain cells to come up with what I needed to come up with. And it was not a huge decision in the grand scheme of things. It was pretty minor in comparison, but I had to make the decision last week, or I should have, and I avoided it. I put it on a few lists, and I realized I am avoiding this for 5 or 10 different reasons that are all justifiable, but not really that good. So I asked my team member, I asked Megan for help. And I said, okay, here's the scenario. What can we do about it? What are some thoughts? We sorted out a solution and cleaned up this entire project in 5 minutes. It took less than 5 minutes from start to finish, from me pouring my heart out about how I avoided this for so long and asked for help, to discussing the scenario, to following through on the action plan, start to finish, about 5 minutes. And so I could have asked for help sooner. I just didn't think of it. Why? Because Larissa's supposed to make the decisions, right? Larissa's in charge at Abundance Academy. So heaven forbid someone else could just figure this out, because I had the responsibility of that. Well, I just asked for help, and it was so easy. So it was a great reminder for me to ask for help even more often, because it can nip things in the bud. So in terms of getting out of scarcity, right? Stop feeling like there's never enough time. Stop focusing on doing it all yourself. Give yourself moments to pause. Stop isolating yourself. Connect with other people and make sure to focus on the good in your life. Say thank you for the blessings. Get present in the moment and ask for support. So I hope this resonated with you. One of the things that we are doing at the Abundance Academy is we hold monthly events, and this particular month we are holding the Vision Expansion Experience, which is a beautiful opportunity for you to create or elevate the vision of your most rich and fulfilling life. And so what this is going to do is when you have a clear picture of what you want and you align your life with it, it is very easy to live in an abundant state. Why? Because you're not chasing a dream that's someone else's, because you're not holding back. You're actually doing things and going after things that matter to you. And having a vision that's aligned with your most rich and fulfilling life is absolutely critical to consistently setting yourself up and living that life of abundance. So if you have never had a life's vision and you're like, I don't know what this is, but I want it, I want you to write vision in the chat. If you've had a life's vision and maybe it's outdated, write vision in the chat because it's time for an upgrade. Or maybe you have a vision, but it doesn't feel right. There's something that's missing. Let's revisit it and let's start finding some of the missing pieces and start tweaking, finding some of those micro adjustments that you can make so it is truly aligned with you. So wherever you're at in terms of your life and your vision for your life and business, if you need an upgrade, if you need a reset, type in vision in the chat and my team or I will absolutely get you set up for that. So hope you have a beautiful week. The event, the Vision Expansion Experience, kicks off next week. It is going to be 5 days, jam-packed with tons of value. So we're going to be meeting for an hour a day, and we're going to cover different areas of your life and business. We're going to look at what's really required for you to have creativity, like have that creative and energetic flow, but also the structure to support it so that you can live the life of your dreams. So I hope to see you there. If you are, oh, Marichka, you're enjoying this new backdrop. Yeah, thanks. I'll be here a little longer. I'm lots of work near my son's school, so you'll probably see this a lot more next week. But yeah, Carol and Melissa will definitely connect you for the Vision Expansion Experience. It really is an amazing, amazing event. We look forward to seeing you. If you're tuning in by replay, again, type in vision in the chat because we are going to be meeting you next week and creating magic in your life and business. So have yourselves a great day. Bye for now.